Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm feeling quite lonely here. Can you all come a little closer, please? Even if it means sliding carpets or something, I certainly don't mind. Hare Krishna. It's nice to be back here after 1 year of absence, 1 year of torture. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Thank you very much. Jai. There's still a little bit of room here. Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Jai. So nice to be here on the very special day of Gaura Purnima. I personally have a lot of options as to where I can go. I can be in Mayapur. Has anybody ever been celebrating Gaura Purnima in Mayapur? You cannot believe what it's like. Yes, it's good luck. It's just jam-packed with people. Nice to be here. And I wish you all the best with the festival this year. I can see that you have a target up there, and may Krishna bless you all that you'll reach your target of 1.5 million wrens. Is that what it is? Wow. Are we getting close? Matter of perspective. Well, if you've got the bhakti perspective, then it's going to be okay. Some intelligence is required to make it all happen. Thank you. So, I was asked to say something this morning. So we've got something called Krishna Consciousness, the Golden Opportunity. And this is by Satyaraj Das. It's from the Back to Godhead magazine. And it's only 2 pages worth. So we can speak from this platform. Do we go till 8:30? Is that the idea? 9-ish? Okay. All right. So is everybody ready? Yes, okay. I think that says it then. Is this a little better? Okay. Krishna Consciousness, the Golden Opportunity. The Golden Avatar delivered the gold standard of spiritual practices for this age by Satyaraj Das. In general, people like gold. Is it true? It represents wealth and success. A golden age refers to an era of goodness and plenty acknowledged in Greek, Roman, and Indian cultures. If you have everything, you are born with a golden spoon in your mouth. The golden rule is the epitome of cosmic justice or fairness. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. As the saying goes, as good as gold. In Krishna consciousness, we have the golden avatar, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the best of divine incarnations. Carnations, I was looking for carnation. No carnations today. He is Radha and combined. To be specific, he is of golden hue because, though Krishna, who has taken on Sri Radha's mood and complexion, Radha Bhava Jyoti Sumalitam. Thus, he is female and male, a particularly profound manifestation of the Supreme. His golden complexion is emblematic of his intense beauty. What's more, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brings with him a snippet of the golden age. That is to say, within the darkness of Kali, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, in which we now find ourselves, we can access an age of love. Did anybody say love? Okay. It is a facsimile of Satyayuga, a time millions of years ago when all beings lived happy and prosperous lives. Mahaprabhu himself initiated this modern reflection of the Satya age when he appeared in India. Doesn't that say it all? Some 500 years ago, and all who partake of his process, the chanting of God's holy names, can avoid being victimized by the horrors of Kali. Instead, they can bask in the glories of prema, love of God. Lust versus love. Prema is itself compared to gold. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 4:164, tells us lust and love have different characteristics, just as iron and gold have different natures. The next text elaborates, that's from 4:165, the desire to gratify one's own senses is kama, lust. But the desire to please the sense of Lord is prema, love. One might compare lust to the misuse of gold, or think of it as gold's bad side. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 1:17-39, we learn that gold can encourage falsity, intoxication, prostitution, I'm not going to do that one, envy, and enmity. Similarly, countless books and songs have been written about the pains associated with love in the material world. Thank you. About the horrors of being betrayed or deceived, as when one's beloved goes off with another. How can some... What's this? No. Hint. Da-da-da-da. 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 Thing. The Addams Family. How can something so pure lead to something so bad? The answer is that in this world, when love leads to hardship and pain, it is usually not love at all. It is rather lust, or love's grossly materialistic counterpart. Am I doing something wrong here? As in the Chaitanya Charitamrita verse already mentioned, we can understand the distinction between the two quite give me an S, 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 I, M, 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 P, P, P. Simply. You guys. When our love is egocentric, focused on our own gratification, it is merely lust, iron, not gold. And when it is theocentric, focused on God, and in a spirit of selflessness, it is true love. Indeed, it is gold. Even in the material sphere, we can see that when we are selfless and giving up our relationships, they bear sweeter fruit. Yes? You did say fruit. Swarup is always soft-spoken. But still we can be exploited. The highest kind of love, then, is love of God. This is the true gold standard, for it takes us out of the world of exploitation and into the realm of dedication, where true love becomes the very fabric of our being. This is expressed towards God directly, and through him to all living entities who are brothers and sisters under God's fatherhood. Very good. The golden avatar brings with him a golden process meant to help us distinguish between lust and love, between cheap iron and valuable gold. Haribol, here he came. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, everyone knows it. Hare Krishna. Come on, let's do it. Hare. Let's start from the beginning. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. One can partake of this golden opportunity. In fact, it is this chanting process that makes this age truly golden. As Shukadev Goswami says in the Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 3, Text 51, my dear King, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there is there is still one good quality after this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become what is free, free from material bondage, and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. But chanting, like all other forms of meditation, must be executed in the proper way. The seed of the sacred sound comes through a bona fide preceptor. Srila Prabhupada traveled to the United States in 1965 and shared the gold mine of the holy name by initiating people into Krishna consciousness, thereby making them shine like molten gold. Hari Bhakti Vilas 2:12 tells us, as bell metal can be transformed into gold when treated with mercury, a disciple initiated by a bona fide guru immediately attains the position of a Brahmin. How was that? Sorry. Did that work out? A Vedic text defines Brahman as one who knows Brahman. Knowledge of Brahman, spiritual truth, descends into the heart of a sincere disciple through hearing from a self-realized spiritual master and committing to the process he or she offers. This knowledge and committed blossoms in this knowledge and commitment, blossoms into divine love, making the disciple golden in every way. It is this blessing that the Krishna consciousness movement seeks to share with the world. Lights. That's the article. Haribol. So just to make this a little bit interactive, because I would say one of the main themes about Chaitanya and his mission, because we're reflecting on Chaitanya today especially, is his sense of inclusiveness. He involved people. He didn't stick to Brahmins, although he was born in a Brahmin family. He got everybody involved. He got Muslims involved, Buddhists, tribal folks. Apparently there were some Christians at the time in the South, but we don't hear of any interaction at that, not much, if any. But men, women, Mangi Paratavya Basaricha, Krishna says in the Bhagavad, Striya Vaishishtata Shudras, everybody. It doesn't matter what background. He involved people. In this way, he was golden. He offered gold, and not everybody took it. The beautiful thing about this gold, it's not like a tangible substance that you find in a mine or stashed away in someone's special storage unit. It's very subtle, and it's something that can be had even today. The magic of Chaitanya still exists. It's still going on. And that can be seen by people who come and join Krishna consciousness far after Mahaprabhu disappeared from this world. Just like, say, it was observed by someone I spoke to not long ago, George Harrison is still making devotees. And he passed away in, 2001 or something. But he's still making devotees through his music. Prabhupada is still making devotees, even though he passed away in 1977, November 14. Still he's making devotees through what he left us, the books, and the people that he has produced. Isn't it a fact that a newcomer will enter in the building, and those of us who are a little bit veterans, who have been around for a while, we may guide such people. We say, okay, this is how you offer your obeisances, and please come, let's look at Radha Krishna, and look at the room, and look at the pastimes. There's a God killing someone. Krishna comes, and that's one of my favorite pictures of all times. And showing the spiritual world, and then asking them to step in the middle of where the star is, and then let them experience a total different acoustical dynamic. As soon as you stand in it, things have changed. Anyways, whatever you want to do to encourage people in Krishna through their senses, and also to grab their intelligence. This is our obligation. If you've received gold, you have to share gold. But is that the way most people do it? We have the story of Satyajit in the 10th canto. He made gold and he produced gold. Wasn't into sharing very much. Mahaprabhu was a sharer. He gave out, and he still does. He had nothing to lose. He was born in a Brahmin family. He took sannyas. He was offered the best out there that the physical world could offer through his parents and so on. But he was more interested in less is more. He was more interested in the real gold of life. And the real gold of life should be the gold of life, the goal of life, meaning cultivate your spiritual side. When I started doing these long marathon walks, I'd sometimes have people who were representing the newspapers. Remember newspapers? Remember when they were around? They still have them a little bit, right? Yeah, they'd come around. I remember I was in one town called Collingwood. It's a fantastic place on Lake Huron, one of the Great Lakes. And in that town, they had 2 newspapers. That's 1996. And the 2 reps ended up coming to meet me at the same intersection. I guess that happens a lot in a smaller city. And they were asking all the questions, the natural questions about why are you walking, and said it's for the spiritual healing of the nation, etc. And any other, when did you start, blah, 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 and blah, 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 and a little more blah, blah, blah. So part of that blah, blah, blah was, so are you here to convert people? And that would be the question. Are you here to change people and convert them to your way of thinking? And my answer was this. I hope it was diplomatic enough. But I was truthful. I was coming from my heart. The little bit of gold that might be there. Tiny bit. Poquito. And I just said, listen, I am out here to make a statement. And that statement is to encourage people in the spiritual side of life. I'm not concerned about your denomination. I don't care if you're Catholic or Muslim, or I don't care if you're Protestant, Hindu. Whatever you're doing, do it better. And if you don't have anything at all, you can consider this tradition, the way we are doing it, which has roots from India, the oldest culture to still survive. A sense of God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So anyways, they all took note. They handwrite or they had their tape recorder. Remember tape recorders? Yeah? Ancient relics. So that's it. We're here to help put people on their spiritual path. The followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are there. That's their way of giving gold. And it was most people have lots of gold, they get into a lot of trouble. Or diamonds. Have you heard so many nasty stories about people who harbor, precious stones? It's not always a glorious story. It's instead of a glory story, it's a gory story. So somehow or other we have to value what real gold is. It has to come from a very special place. And like in Canada, we have this rural community called Sharanagati, and there were some mines in there, they're still there, where gold was pulled out. It isn't anymore. But I guess what we need to do, Hare Krishna, is to find out where is the real gold. Because most people go after fool's gold. Have you ever met anybody who said, we're going to make our house look opulent. We're going to paint it gold. So it's got this metallic look, and it starts to get, let's say, tarnished after 2 years. It just looks real cheap. Instead of making it like gold, it looked cheap. It looks cheap. Better to use some white paint. At least white is pure and so on like that. Or go for a stark black. At least it's got some richness to it. Has anybody been to Swarup? Have you been? Did you go to the opening of the Narasimha wing? Oh, it's beautiful. In the TUVP, they have a wing that they open up. Some of you had a chance to see that, right? Rich, beautiful. Ambarish's wife was the main person behind selecting the colors and the textures and all that. It's gorgeous. It's gold. Shubhananda, you been there? You will go there. We'll all go there, right? Okay. Someday. And so that's richness. Of course, it's nice to have beautiful, opulent surroundings. But what really needs to be worked at, and I could say Sharmila Ford, that's her name. She did a nice job. But what is my job? What am I going to do? How will I make gold or create gold? That means you have to look at what you have within you and say there's some tarnish there. There's something rusty there. And I've been affiliating myself with the lust and the anger and the greed and the madness and the envy and illusion. And somehow or other, I have to make some adjustments. I have to make some transitions. In the play that we're doing this year for you all, The Age of Kali, it's a very philosophical piece. And at the end, you're going to find an interesting twist to the whole story. Because people ask, what can you do with lust? Lust is what it is. It takes me to dark places if I don't have it under control. What can I do with greed? There's nothing good about greed. Is there any good angle that you can apply in order to make it look good, greed to look good? Or anger. How can anger be a positive, let's say, emotion? Is it possible? Well, just from very simple, let's say, observations, anger can be a very positive thing, especially when we see abuse. If a child is abused in public, won't you react? I mean, one thing is you might feel bad, but if you're in a position, hey, you stop that now. You stop that. Or you might have to step in and stop the abuse if it's physical. So you get angry, isn't it? Anger can be used in Krishna service. For instance, Hanuman was angry. Why was he angry? Because Ravana's a rascal. And Ravana mistreated Sita. So he got angry. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself got angry. When did he get angry? Any ideas when he got angry? I think everyone's favorite story is Jagai and Madhya. 2 words, 2 names come to mind. I would say in ISKCON, of all the dramas, all the stories, that one is played over and over and over again. And I guess it's because devotees like to see people drunk. Because we don't get drunk, right? Or do we? Okay. You might know someone who gets drunk. But we have a good time with someone who portrays Jagai and Madai. It always gets a few good laughs, right? Yeah, so Mahaprabhu became and Mahaprabhu means Chaitanya, he got very angry against the vilifiers, the offenders against Nityananda. Blood came forth from because the Madai of the two brothers, Madai was the vicious one. Can anybody remember? Is it Madai or Jagai? It's Madai. And I used to have a problem of which one was it that got physical and got aggressive. Madai. Just remember that. Okay, so then Mahaprabhu became very angry, and he invoked his Sudarshan chakra and was really ready to release it. The chakra is I guess it's a wheel, something like the shape of this the ceiling here, right? And it can become very big and become very small. And it's got real sharp edges to it. And it can do incredible decapitation. You know? And so he got angry. To raise your weapon means anger has to be invoked. So these are some of the ways that anger can be utilized in Krishna service. Krishna also got angry quite a few times. He got angry with Arjuna. What would you do? If Krishna was a child, Arjuna was hesitating to do his duty and going, what's the matter for you? Got angry. He got angry. And the way Prabhupada puts it, you're fool number one. Fool number one for not acting when you should be acting. For not taking care of duty and responsibility. So even the Supreme Lord can become angry. Most people have already embraced that concept. God can be angry. If he wants to be angry, he can do whatever he wants to do. He can break the speed limit. And there's nothing you can do about it. The police can. Krishna, he'll go so fast. And he has actual horsepower. He has real horsepower. And if the police come after him, they never catch up to him. Because they're faster than lightning, faster than the movement of the mind. In this way, things can change. Things can change. And by adjusting your directions. So lust can become love. Anger can be turned into being favorable towards Krishna. And so on. Madness and so on. That's what our drama is going to present. Now, our drama, I'll give you a little bit of a background of it. Srila Prabhupada watched the Vaikuntha players look at this play back in 1976, in the very place where the new temple is now. There was a garden there. There was a platform where devotees used to do stage presentations, as well as fire yagyas. And there, the devotees from New York, the Vaikuntha players, put on the Age of Kali. And he loved it. He loved it. And so that's why I thought, if he liked it, maybe everyone else should like it too. So we put it together, and it was very well received. So the Age of Kali, the age of iron, the age of darkness. Actually, people consider it really classy if you have a bridge of the iron, and it turns rusty, and says, ooh, looks good. It's like the rusty red. They consider it really something. How about plastic? Ooh, plastic. Ooh. Everything's plastic. And I was on the flight with Emirates on the way, and everything they give is like plastic, They put plastic in the plastic and plastic in the plastic. And that's the opulence. I'm not putting down that airlines because I have a good friend who is a major. I'm just saying we delight in saying, I've got plastic. What do you have? I've got a plastic car. One of the last visits I made to Hawaii, and we were sitting at a cafe, a vegetarian restaurant, myself and some devotees, and they have those little sort of like curbs at the edge so the cars don't run right into the building itself made of glass. And so this one guy pulled in, and he realized he went a little too far, and then his bumper got kind of like stuck at the edge of the curb, and they tried to pull away, and half of his bumper just came out, and it kind of sprung back. But I could see that's what automobiles are made of, cheap plastic, and we spend so much money on it. So much value has been placed on plastic. So where do we put our value? Gold, there's something to it. Oil, another one. Oil. How much corruption comes along with the exploration of oil? Have you ever seen it? Comes out of the ground, black, sticky, stinky. And somehow or other we've made it, given it the value of gold. Aren't we kind of something? There's something wrong with us here in the age of Kali. The thing to be valued is that which is permanent. Just like, say, for instance, the body may be valued. If you took all the components to the body, it would have a particular dollar value or a Ren value. When I joined the movement, I heard one person sit down and give a class, and he said they analyzed how much a body is worth. At that time, we're talking about 1973, it was $1.97. Now with inflation rates, it would be more. I'm talking about all the components to your body. What would it be? Even if it was $1,000, it's not much of anything. But we put so much stress and emphasis on the body. We decorate it. Nowadays, people put, they get these eyelashes, they're this big. I had one of our girls, in Canada, I initiated her, and her parents are saying, what do you think, Maharaj, of the eyelashes? And I said, well, I think she could probably fly. And they're so big. And hello. And, I'm talking about decorating the body, right? We put all kinds of things, all kinds of interesting places. And that's been going on since time immemorial. And then devotees have come up with something that is a real sign of beauty, like tilak, a temporary tattoo. I've met people who said, I got a tattoo and I don't like it anymore. It was 1 year after they applied it. So can't you take it off? It's not that easy. Okay, so decoration of the body. Acharyas always talk about that. Where do you place your value? What are you decorating? So anyways, we have a beautiful temple here. You all know it. You know it's a gorgeous place. Here it's just, I've been here coming for 22 years or so, practicing under this beautiful ceiling. And then, like everyone else, when our practice is over, we go out and then you look at the amphitheater and say, oh my God. Sorry to put pressure on you. Sorry. What it could be. Anyways, devotees are supposed to be dreamers, right? Part of a dream team. And one of our dreams should be, what if everyone became a lover of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if everyone could understand this aspect of God, this divine manifestation of both he and she? That's a real seller to some people, isn't it? Someone who was non-discriminatory, someone who was open to all, someone who was inclusive, and someone who gave a nice program of eating the best food, singing the best songs, dancing to the best tunes, even sitting down and having some philosophical discussions. That's what our culture is all about. And if you're going to get drunk and intoxicated, it's allowed. But it's a very different kind of intoxication. It's not a damaging one. But we have to be careful. I've been at Ratha Yatras where devotees are intoxicated. Oh, and they throw coconuts and pineapples in the air and hit someone. Their glasses were, let's watch it, careful. Or in their frenzy, they just go into the street. Oh, prasadam, coconut. Cars are coming this, I think that we have to, it's okay to have your head in the clouds, but you also have to have your feet on the ground. If Krishna consciousness was like a holy roller movement, are you familiar with that? In some Protestant traditions, you sort of go into ecstasy, roll on the ground, and all these holy rollers. And that's okay, but what about having your feet on the ground? Emotions are okay. Intelligence is also okay. What was Prabhupada asked your Guru Maharaj, Giriraj Maharaj, about how will the movement go on? It's a famous quote, right? And he said, how do you think it'll carry on? And his answer was something like, sadhana, chant nicely, stick to the details like sadhana, bhakti. And the Prabhupada rejected it. He said, no. One of those shocks, that came from Prabhupada. Prabhupada was a good shocker. And to be faithful to him, you had to be a good shock absorber. So what was his answer? Would you like to tell us? Organization and intelligence. So orderliness and being intelligent, okay? So for many of these years, I've been doing service within your community here, and I've been loving it. And one of our devotees, Rasastali, she's been like a liaison for me. And she's very organized. She's very into the details. Am I truthful about this? Those of you know her. Is she here somewhere? Well, I hope she hears this. She's online. If you're online, bang a pot or something, maybe wherever you are. Okay, just want to say, she does a marvelous job. It's not always appreciated, but she does a wonderful job because she's thinking. She's using her brains in Krishna service, dealing with the nitty-gritty of things, all the details, all the background. And Prabhupada's, basic idea about Krishna consciousness is pay attention to details. Details, that is, in chanting our japa. When I was in Mayapur just this year, about 3 weeks ago, I met a devotee from Japan. And he saw me. He's kind of a tall fellow, a little bit older, and was starting to bend over a little bit. He said, "Oh, you're the walker." I said, yes. I'd like to walk in my country. I said, yeah, Japan, japa, walking, makes sense. Yeah, do japa. So anyways, when you're doing japa, how clear are we? How clean are we with our japa? How clean are we in our services? Like in our practices for the dramas, it's not always a piece of cake. Sometimes devotees come with they're tired or they're injured, or sometimes they're little attitude issues, And, wherever there's issues, you better have your tissues out, Bring a box of tissues. And, so basically what we're saying is that pay attention to details. Whether it's fundraising, just whatever you're expected to do it well. That's all. the gold comes out. I guess the mercury is starting to pour on the bell metal when you pay attention to the details. People love the details. The details of how the deities are decorated. If it's a slop job, then we wouldn't pay much interest. But because details have been applied, therefore we said, oh my God. Yep. So Mahaprabhu was into the details. He came at a time of Kali Yuga, and he wanted to, he brought gold with him. And it's just like on a hot summer day here in Durban, hot and sticky, where your clothes stick, you have to sort of pull them off your skin. Do you ever have that kind of weather here? Yeah, I heard you have it here. But then during that hot, sticky season, there might be a nice, cool, fresh breeze coming for a few days. And you're going, what a relief. So that's what Kali Yuga is all about during the golden period when Mahaprabhu comes. It's a relief. So those who take advantage of that gold period, they chant. They dance. We have to say dance because nowadays popular kirtan means sit down. Did you recognize it? Is that your observations? Just sit down. So then he plays the harmonium. I'm not I think it's great, but if you can get up. That would be very nice. Like Tim Lokanan Swami. He came here and he was leading the kirtan, and it was actually wonderful. And it was everyone who was going. And then I decided the one thing that's missing is the dancing. So we got everybody dance, and then we were going up there. Can't do that anymore. Whoever the rascals are, they block. I'm just joking. We used to go around here and go outside and go out there where those people are, and they're all looking. Okay. So then Maharaj was saying, to make the Sankirtan complete, there has to be dance. Right. So therefore, I'm suggesting to those people who spend a lot of time at the desk and a computer, you can break free when you come to the temple. Get out of the shackles and dance up a storm. You don't have to be professional. You don't have to be Michael Jackson or Gene Kelly. You don't have to be any of those kind of people. You just have to let loose a little bit and take a risk. One of the boys, I pulled him in, and he was real stiff. And I just read his take a risk, man. Take a risk. Take a chance. So we were criticized in the early days for being crazy. People thought we were on drugs because we were dancing on the street, and for what reason, who no one knows. But now I think a lot of people get it. Yeah, you should have some fun. You have to interrupt your week with some fun. And we do it all the time. Hare Krishna. So those are the things that I want to cover on this beautiful article by Satyaraj Prabhu. And he always does write well. He's one of my favorite authors. Satyaraj Prabhu ki. We still have a little bit of time. I guess a few more details. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born on February the 18th, 1486, and he was on this planet Earth for 48 years. And he left this world. There are Vaishnava conspiracy theorists, right? Have you ever met any of them? Every temple has one or two. So the theories are that his body merged into the Tota Gopinath deity. The Tota Gopinath deity is situated near the ocean, the Bay of Bengal. And so he entered in that temple, and he never left. So they believe that he merged into that deity. Another theory is that he merged into the Jagannath deity, right? And a third one is that he merged into the ocean, right? So our Gaudiya Vaishnavas had concluded the most laudable story is the Tota Gopinath deity, right? So he left in a mysterious way, mystical way. That's the kind of story we want to hear, isn't it? That he kind of left in some divine way. That's not going to happen for us. Our bodies are going to be a feast for the vultures, or go into a box, or be burned and thrown in. You know, think about where your precious gold-like body, where's it going to be? But then there's you. There's the body, and then there's you. It's the you that's gold, especially if you've made an effort to improve. And that's what we're all about. We're here to improve. We're here to become more conscious in the way we do things. In some places in the world, we become more like green conscious. That plastic that we were talking about earlier on, try to reduce the usage of it. Or if you are using it, reuse it and reuse it, reuse it, reuse it. Be smart, be good organization and intelligent. You know? That's what Prabhupada left us. How much you want to display your ecstasies, how much you want to be a holy roller, that's another. It's in the song by John Lennon, Come Together. Are you familiar with it? Now that I've mentioned it, you'll probably look it up. Come Together. It's actually, frankly, I like it. It's funk. It's real funk. And he mentions in there holy rollers. It has nothing to do with the song. He's just thrown words together, and none of them connect with each other. Obviously, he was in some kind of influence when he wrote the song. But holy rollers, even in the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, people would show their ecstasies and do that kind of thing, roll on the ground as if there's some bhava experience. But you know, our bhava should be commitment to Guru, commitment to the mission, commitment to chanting, commitment to the good life, commitment to sharing, not holding it back to yourself. Commitment to helping this movement, which is the best thing going on the planet. There are we can also talk about the flaws. We have mistakes. How many people are willing to admit that we have some shortcomings? I'm talking about ISKCON. Oh, Swami Damodar, the reality is both individually and collectively, we know they're there. But it's good to admit you acknowledge that there's some flaws, and then from there you can work towards improvement. If I'm an addict, I have to admit I'm an addict before I can clear myself of the bad habit. Hare Krishna. But what we have is gold. We are to share that gold. Hare Krishna. So we do have a period for your questions if you're... By the way, how many people like fasting? Mataji, you like fasting? She was so enthusiastic, she put her hand up before. What's that? Okay, I'll ask that first and then, okay. How many people like fasting? How many people like feasting with an E in it? As in feasting, right? How many people like feasting after a fasting? That's especially wonderful, isn't it? Oh, yes. So then, you know, if we're people have fasted for causes. I remember when I was walking in Belfast in Ireland, Northern Ireland, which is almost like a different country from the rest of Ireland. And I was picking up on some of the histories and between the Catholics and the Protestants, and these guys in prison going on fasts till they die for a particular social political cause. Sounds like it's kind of bland if you're going to fast. It just means someone's really passionate about something. So we're fasting, we're admitting we don't like it, or it's not our favorite activity. Thank God it's not one of the 9 processes of devotionals. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Archanam, Fastanam, blah, blah, blah. But why do we do it? It's for a cause. And our cause is to say to the Lord, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Lord, has said, I'm doing this for you. I believe you, and I love you. And you have given me, you've turned my life around. So you can say I owe it to you, but thank you very much. Fasting is like saying thank you. That's what it is. It's a little bit of tapasya. And it's only for a half a day, or a full day, or up to moonrise. It's not such a big deal, isn't it? Good. So, oh, well, it is. Okay, all right. We take things so much for granted. We have 3 square meals or 2 meals a day, and we don't question. We just assume it's supposed to be there. How many people really give thanks? In the fast food restaurant culture, does anybody ever say thanks? Do you see people coming out of McDonald's, thank you? No. We take everything so much for granted, and there has to be that thanks there. If you want to improve and you want your heart to turn into gold, the gratitude has to be stepped up. Has to be. Must be. Otherwise, go back down. Oh, question. Oh, thank you. For my years of which? Oh, walking, I see. Good legs. Although the knees had to be replaced. An opportunity to meet a variety of people, a chance to be inclusive and not just stay in my temple, but a chance to see that the temple is everywhere and that the sky is my ceiling and the trees are my walls and that the gravel and the dirt under me is the floor. And looking at various chapters in the Gita where Krishna makes reference to nature. Now I can see it more clearly. Yeah, and humility, cultivating some humility. I'm small, the world is great. And the beating hot sun is there to remind me of that. And a cold blast of wind is there to remind me. And heavy rains, snow, mosquitoes, black flies, horse flies, deer flies, stable flies. It's all there to make me realize I'm kind of a small fry in this world. So the walking is good. Plus it's entertainment. Oh my God, look at, around every corner there's something amazing that happens. One day I saw a barn, I looked at a barn, I looked away and it collapsed. The next second. Then I saw an eagle and a heron fighting with each other. Everything's just accidents happening in front of my eyes, or smiling faces. Motorcycle gangs pulling over. I thought they were going to beat me up. And then the one guy pulled off his gloves, took off his helmet. I got to hand it to you. He shook his hand. Because he said, when we passed by you, we thought, what kind of a kook are you? We went into town, spent an hour there, got a few drinks. We looked at your picture in the paper on the front page. We understand you're walking across the country, so I got to hand it to you. Making friends. Those are some of the achievements behind the walking. Thank you for the question. It's dear to my heart. And to be a sannyasi means you got to get out away from the opulence. You got to go to where it's a little bit tough. You camp out in the tent. And a bear might come and attack you. You don't know. He'll hear you breathe. Maybe you got something smelly in the tent. It'll get right on you. You don't know what you're dealing with. So I took a risk, and I did what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, which is to travel around on foot. There were no limousines in those days. So thank you very much. Anybody else? Thank you for the question. We're just about, oh yes. You had a 10-year. Uh-huh. Right. Right. So the fasting can be of a slightly socio-political nature. Yeah, I understand. Yes, I heard of stories like that. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, so sometimes fasting works. I mean, always supposed to work. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I guess what we do is take this hand, bring it over here, take this hand, pull it over there, move them forward like this. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanang bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Hare Krishna.